wagon, a horse.
Some of them had a horse-drawn wagon.
What is the oldest building you have renovated?
Probably something in the late 1800s, I would say.
Yes, because we weren't really, we were, I think, the last county in Missouri to be settled because we were swampy, and they couldn't get it. You know, they said it's 30 miles wide. Dunklin County is 30 miles wide and 3 feet deep.
3 feet deep. That's what your water table is, isn't it?
And that's the truth. So you have gone back to the 1800s.
Yeah, and you know, of course, what we always do is we try to gather as much history as we can on the building and try to, for example, the exterior of this building. We have to, but we also make every effort we can to keep it looking like it did. What we would love to do is have this building look exactly like it did the day it opened. That's what our goal would be on the exterior part of the building. And what's interesting, I got to tell you this story because it's too good to. When we're doing, every time we do a building like this, we have tenants tell us stories. And I was up in Excelsior Springs one day and visiting with one of our tenants there, a lady who's probably 80 years old. And she was telling me, she said, "I am so happy to live here." She said, "I want you to know that when my husband and I had our first date, we ate dinner in the restaurant in the ballroom at this hotel where I now live." And she said, "When I walk through this building," she said, "it brings back this incredible flood of memories. I'll walk down a hallway and I'll think, this is where we walked."
Okay, on that very note, every day when we come on with some old historic thing, we were here filming when the shirt factory was still in operation.
1982 or
80, somewhere around 1980. And some little ladies come up to me and said, "Oh, I saw myself on there. You know, I was one of the earliest employees." And they had fond memories for this, even though it was hard work. As I told you, we were going to look at the history of the shirt factory here, the Ely-Walker Shirt Factory, and look at these headlines. Kennett has a chance to get a garment factory located here. A mass meeting to be held at the courthouse tonight. Must qualify at once if we're to be the lucky ones. Other southeast cities bid for the factory. And when you read down here, you find out the city had to furnish a site and a building according to their specifications at a cost of $25,000 and maintain it for approximately 5 years at a cost of approximately $5,000. That means taxes and insurance. Secure pledges of enough labor to begin operation with a minimum of 100 operators. They were going to hire 100 people. So everyone was excited. Now, the next week, this paper said, "Shirt factory assured may increase the capacity. The city has met all of its requirements." This is a week later. This is January the 19th, 1923. The $30,000 has been raised. More than enough applications for employment have been secured, and the site has been secured. In short, everything that remains to be done has been done. May 4th, 1923, Shirt Factory will have trial run in new quarters. We'll be operating 128 machines before the new building is ready for occupancy. And let's see where the machines are run by electricity. The power being furnished from 4 3.5 horse motors, electric power motors. Electricians ran the lines to the building today. Some of the workers began in the Ely-Walker factory on May 9th, and they're now getting to be experts on the machines. Now, this is May 25th. They've been at it 2 weeks. And the instructors are well pleased with the progress. All of the work is of the same character and has been laid out. Now here, when a beginner goes to work, she is guaranteed a salary, and as she progresses, the salary is reduced 50 cents each week, and at the end of 10 weeks, she should be able to earn from $15 to $20 a week, according to her ability to turn out the work. You didn't know how to sew when you went there.
No, you didn't have to know how to sew. She would she would have a teacher teach you how to sew and do the job, and then give you a 3-month period of reaching the production amount.
So what would you do? Would you get a salary to begin, and you didn't have to have certain production while you were
Yeah,
learning?
you got a straight salary per hour.
Okay.
And then when you got where you could put out production, if you made over the amount that they wanted you to put out each day, then you got extra for that.
Were you ever able to get the extra?
A little bit over.
But not much.
No, they had it
Our
too
first
high.
tenant, the first lady who we've approved as a tenant, worked here sewing shirt sleeves on shirts. Her name is, I have her name down here, it's Marjorie Danley. But one of the cool things is what I was starting to tell you about these old historic buildings. You get it every time you open one. You get these tenants coming in, and every one of them's got a story on how this building touched their life 20, 40, 50 years ago. You get it on every historic building. We'll have buildings where I'll have tenants walk up to me and go, "Oh, Mr. Gardner, I'm so happy to live here." She said, "You know, when I was a young girl, my doctor's office was the very unit I'm living in now." This was in the Frisco building up in Joplin, where we converted an office building. It was owned by the St. Louis Frisco Railway Company. We converted that into senior living. And people would come and say, "Oh yeah, my dentist office was here, or our accountant was here, or our lawyer had his office here." And so they have these memories of these buildings. And you know, these buildings were, I mean, they were a tremendous part of everybody's life when they were growing up. And now they continue to be a significant part of their life, only just in a different way. They've been transformed. Instead of an office building or a place to work, now it's a place to live. And so to me, I'm a history buff. I loved history growing up. And being able to connect this building back to those people again, just in a different way, is, well, it's very rewarding.
Now, I notice you have evidently a list of tenants that are already signed up.
Well, we have, I don't know who all of those are, but we do have some tenants.
You just have the lady.
Well, I remember that because Tammy came to me, one of my assistants came to me and said, "Mark, here's another great story. We got one of our first person we approved, guess what? She just told me that she used to work here." And we get that on every project.
That's right.
And honestly, it warms your heart. I grew up in a small town.
Where?
In Edina, Missouri.
Edina?
Edina. It's up near, it's northwest of Hannibal.
Oh,
west
he's
of Illinois.
a foreigner if he's
I'm a
up
foreigner.
around
I'm
Hannibal. What about
I'm
the
almost-
style of the architecture that you decide on?
One of the things we wanted to do with this project is because it's a converted warehouse or factory, basically building, is those are frequently converted into loft-style apartments in the city.
Now, when you say loft style, you mean all of the all the vents show?
Open ceilings where you can see the heating and air conditioning systems. And if you'll walk into the individual units, you'll notice that the walls don't go all the way to the ceiling. So it creates this openness, and it's a style of development that's been going on in the larger cities across the country.
The walls don't go all the way to the ceiling?
You need to walk through them and see.
The walls don't go all the way
The
to...
interior walls do not. The
Okay.
interior walls.
We'll notice this as we go through. I didn't know this was part of the requirement.
Some of them don't go all the way to the ceiling. It's just a modern, kind of a trendy way of doing development. And so for a family, if we were doing this for seniors, we wouldn't do that because seniors probably would not find that acceptable, but families will. It's kind of a trendy new thing to do.
Thank you very much. We'll let you go now and do your thing.
Thank you.